Welcome back to the Metal Matt Podcast, and I am your host, Metal Matt. And today we are going to be returning to the genre that I know and love, heavy metal, specifically industrial metal. Because today we're going to be taking a look at who I think is a really underrated band. Never really got their due. Honestly, they're no longer together, but wish they got more recognition. And that band is Stabbing Westward. We're going to be doing the Stabbing Westward retrospective today. First of all, some shout outs. First of all, Chucky's Playground, really great place to be, awesome place to be. We're actually preparing for our 1 year anniversary. We're getting close to our 1 year anniversary, and it's pretty amazing to think that, it's been a year since the site was formed, and I love it. I love being on there every single day of the week, being on there all day and all of the night, and it's just really, really awesome place to be. So definitely check it out. Movie Mayhem with Spanky and G, really great show. Really love it. Episode Fargo was really awesome as well, so definitely check theirs out. And so now we're going to be talking about Stabbing Westward. And how I got to sort of get familiar with Stabbing Westward is probably like a lot of other people, and that's Bride of Chucky. Somehow it always comes back to that movie. But yeah, so... And the movie features a song in there called So Wrong. And it's a really good song, and we're going to get more into that as we go along. But it's from Withered Blister Burning Peel from 1996. And as soon as I heard that song in the movie, I was hooked. And I was really looking for whoever did that song, and it ended up being Stabbing Westward. So I decided to go ahead and listen to all their albums, because I thought that song was amazing. And that's usually what I'll do, with a band. If I hear a song that is awesome from a band that I've never really heard before, but I think sounds cool, I'll end up just listening to all their album. And that's what I really like to do. I really like to listen to actual full albums. I'm very much an album guy. You know what I mean? Like, I do like listening to the singles and the hits every now and then. But I also like to listen to the rest of the album as well, because you can get some really cool songs on there as well. And Stabbing Westward actually has a really cool list, cool albums, tracks, I like to call them deep album cuts, So let's go ahead and get things started. We're going to be starting with their 1994 debut, Ungod. And as far as debuts go, I would go out of my way to say this is probably... one of the best debut albums ever. That might be kind of pushing it a little bit, or might be a really big thing to say, but I don't care. I really think this is one of the best debut albums that's ever been released. Just really great songwriting, really great performances, just awesome, just awesome stuff, really. And pretty much, the industrial metal scene was everywhere in the 90s. If it wasn't grunge, if it wasn't the 90s gangsta rap, if it wasn't alternative, kind of stuff, it was industrial metal, and a lot of bands really took this as a chance to kind of reinvent themselves, or just kind of do what they needed to do. And bands like Nine Inch Nails really embraced this one. Marilyn Manson, bands like that, Rob Zombie, and that's probably one of my favorite subgenres of heavy metal is the industrial metal. You can get some really good beats in that genre, and there's also a lot of great stuff in there as well. This one is definitely industrial metal for sure. Like, stuff like Violent Mood Swings really reminds me of Nine Inch Nails, but like in a good way, you know what I mean? Stuff like ACF and Nothing, those are awesome. Lies is really great as well. Ungod is a really good one. And it's about 7.5 minutes, which is really cool. For anyone who doesn't know me, I love, long songs, like that. Anything over 6 minutes is really a treat for me. I always love, kind of long, grinding songs. Dream Theater does a lot of that. And, I really like those kind of songs. I don't know why. I just do. But, yeah, just really, really good album. I mean, it's very 90s era. It's very industrial metal. Like, if you love industrial metal, you're definitely going to love this one. I mean, just really, really good album. Very industrial metal-esque. And it's just a really good album. I would definitely recommend this album. Absolutely. So now we're going to move on to their second album, Wither, Blister, Burn, and Peel. And, I mean, between this and Ungod, the choose between this and Ungod, where is my favorite Stan Westward album, it's a really tough call. Because I love both of these albums really very much. I guess if I had to choose, I would go ahead and go with Ungod. I mean, and I love this album too, but I think Ungod is probably the best one. But this one is also really good as well. Like I was talking about earlier, So Wrong is on this album, and it's a really good one. The album starts out with I Don't Believe, and that's a really good one. It's a fantastic way to start off the album. Just kind of like this mid-tempo industrial metal track, and it's really good. And What Do I Have to Do is also really awesome as well. And it really kind of starts off kind of very quiet, sort of brooding and stuff like that. And by the time the chorus, kicks in, it really does go up a notch. Goes up a couple of notches, and it's just really awesome stuff. And Falls Apart is really good as well. Crushing Me is really good. Slipping Away is a really good album closer, 6-minute one. Again, like I said, longer songs are really what I like. And it's just some really good stuff, man. Really good stuff on this one. It sort of is has that kind of same sound as Ungod, but that's definitely not a bad thing. Maybe it's really a good thing, really. Just a great one. If you love industrial metal, definitely check this one out. If you love 90s music, definitely check it out. It's just really, really good. I wouldn't really say it's as good as Ungod, but I'd say they're probably on par with one another. Like, these are two really good, consistent albums that are really awesome. So now we move on to Darkest Days. And this is a pretty interesting album, I think this is a bit of a concept album. It consists of like 4 acts, I think. And it's like a different kind of phase that people will go through after like a breakup. And it's pretty interesting. It really is, It's just kind of a different album, sort of lyrically, from Stabbing Westward. And it's just really good. It sort of has that same industrial metal sound. And I think it's pretty good. I wouldn't really say it's as good as their first 2 albums, but it's also just it's pretty solid, man. It really is pretty solid. It's a solid album. Like Save Yourself and Haunted Me is really good, and The Thing I Hate is also awesome as well. So there's quite a few songs on here that are really good and just really awesome. So I'd probably recommend this one. It's not quite as good as stuff like Ungod and Wither, Blister, Burn, and Peel, but it's still a pretty solid album. So I'd say check it out. And then we enter our last one, the 4th one, and they only made 4 albums, and that's their self-titled album, Stabbing Westward. And this album, this is probably their worst album. Really uninteresting stuff. A huge step down from their first 3. undoubtedly the worst one. And that's not to say that the music itself is awful or anything. It's just I don't know. Like, I really don't know how to explain it. Honestly, it's just really not that great. Honestly, and I really don't know why. The way I know why, it really the genre sort of changes because the first three were industrial metal, alternative, and a little bit grungy kind of attitude. With this one, they sort of change it all. It's less heavy. It's less you know it's less industrial. It's more clean alternative rock. And honestly, one of the tracks on here really reminds me of stuff like Creed. I think it's the track Wasted, I think. It seems a little bit more commercial, you know, and just, it sounds way too poppy for my taste. I don't know, it's just really not that great, personally. Like, there are a few good tracks on here, like Wasted, that's a pretty good one, and Television. And Television is really one of the few tracks on here that actually does sound like a Stabbing Westward one. The rest of them, I really don't know what they are. Like, they're different songs, and I do respect them for at least experimenting a little, but it wasn't really a good experiment in my opinion. I didn't like this album. So yeah. So that's pretty much it for this retrospective. Overall, I think Stabbing Westward is a really good band, and they didn't really make a lot of bad albums. There's really only one bad album, really. But overall, I really like Stabbing Westward. I think they're really good. I do kind of wish they would reunite and do another album, but who knows? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But we'll see. So really, that's it for this episode of the Metal Met Podcast. And I also have a bit of an announcement to make. I decided to do new episodes of the show only on Fridays. I'm going to be doing it on Fridays now. I think Fridays will be a bit better. But I'm just going to try something new. Just going to do one episode a week. So we're going to see how that goes. That's just something I wanted to do. I think Friday will be a really cool little day for me. So that's it for the Metal Mat Podcast, and I'll see you all next Friday.